Hey. So, pretty cool stuff. Want to start with StreamYard has a restart recording button. So, let's say you're just starting a video. Everything's all cool, and suddenly a train, I live by the train tracks, starts rolling through. And I gotta stop it, exit studio, fucking redo all the titles and all that stuff until now. Just hit restart. Pretty cool. Because now you don't get stuck with any weird, awkward moments where you're in the middle of a sentence and then suddenly it. Man. I should put a warning up for that. Whenever I use that intro, I know me being so attractive with a towel might cause you some heart palpitations. Anyways, let's get serious. You saw the title of the video. Seattle, Washington is deploying unarmed social workers instead of Popo. Now, that is a clickbaity article, but it's better than most right-leaning newspapers or websites have labeled it. Alternative response team. Now, this is specifically for mental health calls, right? Katie Daviscourt tweeted, breaking: Seattle police and fire will no longer be answering to mental crisis calls. Crisis responders or social workers will be dispatched instead. They're not allowed to be armed. Okay. And this comes from Seattle Councilwoman Lisa Hebold, right? She has been pushing for it. So the city is hiring 6 people to make this new crisis responders team, do answering certain 911 calls. The new dual dispatch system aims to dispatch non-POPO workers to suspects experiencing mental health crisis. Well, usually I'm complaining about how delayed we are and how frustrated I am that we're not meeting our benchmark for developing the program. But today I am really, I added some of those reallys, but not as many as you would think. Happy to report that the city is hiring for the 6 positions for its first pilot alternative response team. It's going to be a way for 911 operators to dispatch calls to someone other than POPO, somebody other than fire, a crisis responder who is unarmed. Now, I am a very strong supporter. I am a mental health advocate. If you look at my top 5 most viewed videos, one of them is me detailing my crazy meds and my mental health struggle. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say struggle. I really don't struggle compared to what many others do. My mental health awareness is a very important part of my life. And it is something that is sorely lacking in the veteran community. And the idea of social workers, or I would like to think in an ideal world, not social workers, but mental health experts responding to police calls that involve mental health. I can look at, off the top of my head, 3 situations a crazy person like me who was shot and killed in the living room in front of his mother and father. No, I'm sorry, in front of his mother. Because the police treated him as a threat because he was acting crazy. And they made a valid, fair assessment. I think someone who is more informed would have been able to approach that situation much differently, and it might not have escalated to that level. Now, if someone in the healthcare field, which I have been in, is placed in a situation where they could be in danger, they're unarmed. Emphasis on them being unarmed. A healthcare worker generally shouldn't be armed. I have at times, working in the healthcare field, been armed. Uh, the biggest reason is when you have medications to bring to patients, right? Like, you defend your patient, you defend yourself. Generally from drug addicts who would hurt you to get access to your medication. But yeah, I'm a big fan, huge fan of having a team, a task force that is there to respond to mental health calls instead of police. That's a wonderful, wonderful idea. Now, the concept of police shouldn't respond, I think this is where it gets confused and complicated and left or right, black or white, up or down, pick a side situation. I would like to think that I generally work under the premise that 85% of the population agrees on 85% of the subject. It's that crazy this side and crazy that side that are like, nope. And then all the rest of us look at each situation and go, well, I'm here to hear on it. And then you get on that topic, the bah and bah crazies. I don't think, I think the way they're labeling it is both sides are labeling it badly. We're not going to send police who murder people because they're all monsters for mental health, and they're going to be unarmed. Okay. And then you get those, oh, yeah, crazy knife wielding psychopath on the verge of a drug overdose who's trying to murder people is going to have a social worker. Does that make you feel safe? Also, these are two crazy examples of things that should not happen. I am thinking this is a wonderful, useful tool that I would like to think that a reasonable, rational police officer would go, "Oh, great. That's awesome." Because I don't know I don't know how to handle someone who's manic and I know how to handle threats. Um so I treat everything like it's a criminal trying to cause harm. The idea of someone coming in who is trained in dealing with that situation, that would be a big help for me. And I would like to think someone in the mental health field, knowing that they have the option of, I don't think I can do this. This is getting dangerous. I need to call the police. As sadly sometimes has to happen. Everybody wins. Now, Unarmed, I believe these mental health experts, these social workers, the alternative action, what was it? Alternative response, alternative response team. Cool. They should not go out to a scene without a taser, which should be their third choice, Thorazine, which should be their first choice, and pepper spray, which should be choice number 2. You send some trained, compassionate people who know how to handle the crazy, and they got some Thorazine, some pepper spray, and a stun gun or taser. I feel confident that they can handle that particular situation better than a police officer can handle it. This frees up our police officers to deal with robbery, struggle cuddles, attempted control alt deleting of other people. Like, we free up our police officers to handle things they're better trained for. And we have people to handle the, sadly, a lot of homeless people. Kate, this was, I've mentioned it in a video or two or a live stream or two. I came across a gentleman who was wearing shorts, nothing else, walking down the road, back, like off the charts, middle of nowhere road. And it's very, very hot. And I stop. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, you all right? Where are you headed?" jumps in the car and commences to tell me he doesn't know where he's out. He's been in a situation that could possibly be real, but his demeanor, his conversational skills implied he was in a very manic, unhealthy situation. Um, my first assumption was he's coming down from some chemicals, and I got him a Gatorade and some water, made him rehydrate. He had a wound on the top of his head. Wasn't serious, but it looked to be a couple days old. Scabbed over. Um, he was just in a rough spot. But he seemed like a pretty good dude, but very troubled. Was it mental health? Was it chemicals? I don't know. I do know I took him to a local diner, uh, informed the waitress, whatever he wants to get, you know, dude needs to eat. I think he's safe. I need to go to the bathroom. By that, I stepped outside and called non-emergency 911 and had people come to check him out. And they had EMTs and a police officer come. And the EMTs were like, he has nothing life-threatening. There is no reason to take him to the hospital, but he seriously needs help. And the police officers were like, well, he's not violent or hurting anyone, so we can't take him. We can offer to give him help, but that's all. And he said he's fine. And I paid for his food, gave the waitress an extra 20 to keep an eye on him. And then I left. That's all I could do. And it was troublesome because, one, I don't trust the government to have the ability to say, well, he seems unhealthy, so let's lock him up. But I also felt bad that this gentleman needed help and wasn't getting it. Now, I would be more inclined to trust a mental health expert to be like, hey, this person needs a 24-hour hold so that they can be assessed by someone who's more of an expert than me, coming from someone who's more of an expert than the popo or paramedic. And that's not shitting on either. Paramedics have insanely difficult jobs. Let's not add to it. And the police have a really easy fucking job 90% of the time. And then occasionally they're presented with a crazy situation that's life-threatening. Let's not include a person struggling with mental health who's not hurting anyone in that scenario. So I'm a fan. I am a fan of getting behavioral health specialists and training them in some extra things so they're prepared for police situations, so that they know when it's okay, yeah, I got this, I can handle this. If I need to, I'll shoot him with some Thorazine and knock his ass out. Let me handle this. So the armed police officers who are trained for dealing with burglary can focus on their stuff. I think the difficult thing is we get stuck with this. The left pushes it so far. Police are bad and this will solve everything. Most of the time, we don't need to shoot people. We just need to talk to them. And then the right immediately responds with, oh, so you're going to talk to the mass shooter in Las Vegas? And the rest of us are like, dude, mental health would have been helpful in this situation. Wouldn't work in that one. So let's stop going, meh, meh, and like, hey, this is a good option to have. Let's try it and figure out when the best situation for each one is. Then again, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. Anyways, if you do watch this video, not shadow banned enough to keep it from you, let me know what you think. I really do want to know your opinion on it. Like, honest opinion, not emotional political reaction. Although, by all means, throw that out there too. It's entertaining. Anyways, I do hope you are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And please remember, mental health is not less important than physical health. You break your arm, you go to a doctor. Why would you not go to a doctor for depression? If you are struggling with suicidal ideations or struggling with that, anything along those lines, thoughts of hurting yourself, the bottom of the screen is scrolling the Veterans Crisis Line. And you don't have to be a veteran to call it. I use this number because I'm a veteran and I'm mostly familiar with fellow veterans that struggle. But even if you're not a veteran, please, if you're struggling, call this number. They will help you, or try. And I've called this number myself personally, and I've had nothing but positive interactions. If you've had negative reactions with this number, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there are positive interactions. So please call. Reach out. If you break your arm, you go to the doctor. If you have a mental health situation, go to the doctor. Anyways, I wish you the best. Unless you're a Packers fan, then I wish you a miserable football season. Thanks for watching. Unless you're a Packers fan.